Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Did she cheat on me? Suspicion update. So I posted this somewhere else and was told to post here. My GF, 23F, is friends with her ex. They were friends before they started dating and only dated for 2 months. During that time they got a dog. They treat the dog like a kid they share custody over. One day the dog died. It hit my GF hard. I, 22 meters, love my pet and I shed a few tears as a child when my dog died, but if you saw her you would think it was her mom that died. I just figured it was something I didn't understand, so I never brought it up. 2 days later she and her ex decided they would bury the dog at his house and hold some type of funeral there. No part of me wanted to go to a dog funeral, so I politely declined. Her sister, 16F, had recently bought a VR headset and asked me to help her set it up. So my plan was to set it up and play video games with her sister until my GF got back at 12 o'clock. Then I would hang out with her. So the day is going as planned and I get a text around 12:30 that the funeral was over and she was leaving his house. At 2 o'clock her sister called her to tell her to bring food back with her and she told her she was still at the funeral. I thought it was weird, but I didn't want to cause problems, so I ignored it. She wasn't back at 6 o'clock, so I went home. Her sister told me she got back at 9 p.m. The next day I told her what my plan was and asked where she was all day. She said after the funeral was over she was sharing memories with her ex about the dog. After a while they got hungry, so they went to a restaurant. While eating they both got sad and decided to go watch a movie. She apologized for lying and said nothing happened. She also said she didn't tell me beforehand because she knew I didn't understand why she was so sad about the dog. How she knew that is beyond me. 5 minutes after I hung up her ex called me and basically repeated her story. They had done similar stuff, but it was always with a group of about 4 or 5, never alone. I didn't know what to think, so I told some friends and half of them think she cheated on me. Others think that even if she did cheat I deserve it for not going to the dog funeral. Should I take her word for it? Should I just drop it? Well, how stupid of her to get her ex to ring you 5 minutes after you spoke. You hang up, she rings the ex quickly to get the story straight, and then he rings you. How smart are these pairs of cheaters? As smart as you let them be. Definitely the beginning of the end of your relationship. You can't wait to catch them communicating again, but it depends on how committed you are. If you are still in the casual stage, then time to move on. Will she let you see her phone immediately after asking for it? If not, you probably got your answer. Grief sex. Yep, totally agree. To me, the fact that the ex called you and repeated the story makes it sound even more efficient. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. But I would say that your trusting her has taken a serious hit. The ex calling right after shows they cheated. She freaked out and asked him to help, which he did. The exact same story. Did they tell you what restaurant and what movie? With her you ask her and then call him and ask. Also ask for a timeline of the day. FYI, in any relationship a hard boundary is no exes. You are at a crossroads with your GF. 1. You could tell her strike 1, she is never to come in contact or communicate with her ex. If you find she even said hi, you're gone. 2. She cheated and her ex says he just wants her for occasional sex and does not want a relationship with her, but just booty calls. Most likely, she settled for you while attempting to get back with her ex. Me, I would send her back to her ex for being disrespectful of you by staying longer than it took to bury the dog. Make the point to tell her she jumped in the grave with her dog, she is dead to you. Update: did she cheat on me? Advice original post. So I want to thank everyone for the advice. I decided I would talk to both of them to find out what happened in a way that prevented them from coordinating on a story. I honestly wouldn't care that much if it happened like they said it did. I would have a problem with the lying, but it wouldn't be a relationship ending problem. I went to my GF's house and called her ex from the driveway. I asked him a bunch of questions about what happened that day. He answered, and the second he hung up I knocked on her door. When she answered, I told her that if we were going to stay together then she can have no more contact with her ex. She reluctantly agreed. Then I asked her the same questions. He called her during this, but I didn't let her answer. Her answers about the funeral and restaurant matched his, but the answers about the movie were different. She got more visibly anxious the more questions I asked and broke down before I even finished. She said while they were watching the movie he kissed her. They went back to his car to make out, but she stopped it before anything else happened. They finished the movie, then talked and decided it couldn't happen and they would pretend it never happened. I called her ex and said I knew what happened and really need to not be lied to again. He told me enough to confirm her story. I didn't know what to say or do, so I decided to leave without saying anything. My GF tried to stop me and basically begged me to forgive her. She said it was a mistake and she would do anything as long as I didn't break up with her. I told her I needed time to think and I went home. Eventually her sister called me asking what happened. I was friends with her sister for years before I ever started dating my GF. She told me my GF told her to call me and convince me to give her a second chance. She didn't want to get involved and just gave some encouraging words after I explained the situation to her. She has been calling and leaving messages that I haven't read or listened to yet. I feel like I wasted 2 years of my life. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm going out of the state to celebrate a friend's birthday for a week, so I at least have some time to get my thoughts in order. Any advice would be welcomed. Update. It's very unlikely you have the whole truth, as they have already agreed to the story before you ever confronted them the first time, and they were trying to stay in sync as you were talking to your GF. This whole left the couch to go do the car to make out just sounds like a story concocted to avoid talking about what happened in the house, on the couch or in the bed. Why would anyone leave home to go do a car in the driveway to make out? While you are out of state, the GF and ex will almost certainly hook up again. This probably wasn't the first time, and probably won't be the last. I would use the time away to clear my mind and get my head wrapped around moving on, and moving the GF out. I may have misread/misunderstood the post, but I read it as they both went to the cinema to watch a movie. Either way, I think Op's tactic to get the truth failed and he got the plan B story. If the GF realized her mistake and stopped things, then she would have went home and confessed instead of going back to finishing off the movie. She was supposed to be back at 12 p.m. from a dog funeral with ex-BF. They left to eat at 2 p.m., drove to a move which took say 30 minutes to 1 hour. Then to a movie which could be say 2 hours. So from say 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. she was with her ex trying to come up with a cover story. They were in the cinema, right? Ex kissed her. Logic states they made out in the darkness of the cinema. They were on his car, right? They continued kissing in his car. They left to talk where? At his place? Common sense tells us they have ample opportunity to have continued on progressing to the next level given their past history. During all this time passing, GF never texted Op or contacted him after 12:30 p.m. Instead of ditching ex-BF when he kissed her, she continued to stay with him. Then blatantly lied to you about what happened. Both of them spinning lies to collaborate their story. Also, Op, what makes you believe he kissed her first? It could be that she kissed ex-BF first. It sounds awfully like GF was the one who kissed ex-BF and ex-BF is helping her cover her mistake by shifting the blame on him and not her, hence the story. Regardless of who kissed who first, GF lied and was gaslighting you. So was my ex-BF. Now ask yourself, if you stayed with her, what will happen if she lies to you again? Part 3, Did she cheat on me? story original post. I never had to post more than one update, so I hope I'm doing this right. I wanted to use the trip as a way to not think about what was going on and see where my head would be when I got back. That worked for about 3 days. Someone I went to high school with who was also friends with my GF's ex found out what happened. He sent me some messages he thought I should see. The messages were basically my GF trying to get back with her ex. This was before I was with her, but it still made me feel like I was a backup plan. I knew I would break up with her, but I wanted to do it in person. I got back from my trip a day early for unrelated reasons and found a letter in my mailbox. It was apparently a love letter my GF was gonna use to ask me out, but she was too scared. I eventually met up with her. It didn't go well. She cried and begged on her knees for another chance. She said we've been together too long to let this break us up. I won't lie, it ducked me up. I have never been bagged by anybody for anything. I left and haven't heard from anyone since. I feel like a weight was lifted off of me. I'm glad it's over. I heard my now ex GF didn't go home last night, so I'd where she is. Her sister asked me to call, but that's not a good idea. So now I guess the plan is to live the single life for a while. She can't hurt you again. Smart move. She went out and hooked up with her ex. She tiffin the bologna bony this morning. Didn't go home last night. Have to wonder if she stayed with her ex. Actually, I don't wonder, pretty sure she did, for emotional support of course. Yes Siri. Slept in the same bed but nothing happened. They always do and nothing ever happens. They kissed and talked. Cuddled, naked. But nothing happened. He just held her, thoughtful face. Just friends. Don't forget about watching movies all night. And then she just slept on the couch. She failed the girlfriend and basically friend test. Move forward and work on being the best version of yourself. Don't slack off. Work on your purpose. The dog was her tie to him. When the dog died, she lost the one thing that bonded him to her. It makes sense she would try one more time to hook up with ex under the guise of grief sex/make out. I commented in the update that she was most likely the one who kissed ex first. I bet my house she initiated the makeout session. He either tried to tap it for good old time's sakes, or he is the one who said no and pushed her away and as a friend tried to help her out by covering her mistake. Hence ex-GF and her ex-BF concocted a half-baked convoluted story because she had more to lose than ex-BF. But to drive the knife further was, looking back, ex-GF wanted to get back with ex-BF and the realization op was plan B. When she got into a relationship with op, she still had residual feelings for the ex, which is why she never stopped his advances on the day of the dog funeral. Chances are she ran back to ex-BF for emotional support after the breakup, otherwise she would have gone to her sister for support, which she didn't. Op, you deserve better. I wish all the best from here on out. Op, you'll look back at this chapter in your life, and smile knowingly because dodged a bullet, Matrix style, cool face. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.